Okay, let's do this. Let's answer some of those questions I posed and apply a little bit of central place theory and then mess around a little bit with central place theory. Why are car dealerships concentrated together? You know they usually are. This is the Cerritos Auto Square on the left-hand side, and then you can see where it is on the right-hand side. First of all, notice that it's near the 91 freeway, and although it's not labeled on there, nevertheless, the 605 freeway, a major east-west and a major north-south freeway system that allows traffic to come in from all over the place. And now notice where it says Cerritos Auto Square. You can see all of these dealerships: Chevy, Acura, Hyundai, Ford, Jeep, Kia, Toyota, VW, all of these dealerships all concentrated. It seems like they would beat each other up and the competition would kill them all off. But when you're buying a car, this is a really big purchase. And most people, when they want to buy a car, let's say they're going to buy a truck and they wanted an F-150 truck, but they decided when they get there, well, let me just, since I'm here, drive the Ram truck and I'll drive a Tundra and so on. It gives them more choices, which draws a larger audience in. And by doing that, all of these auto dealerships are able to draw from a larger population base, in other words, a larger market area. That's why they concentrate together. Because if all you have is a Toyota dealership and there's no other dealerships anywhere near that, if a person doesn't want a Toyota, they aren't even going to go near you. Why aren't two McDonald's next to each other? Well, this is really back to the hexagons of central place theory. Let's assume that the black dots are McDonald's, and then the red hexagon and the bronze hexagon indicate the market areas for each of those McDonald's. As long as they're spread out like this, they're going to be able to make profits. And McDonald's is a big corporation, but the McDonald's themselves are franchised out, which means there's individual owners. But McDonald's requires them to have the same kind of menu and the same quality and buy their food from the same places and then produce it in the same way. So when you go into McDonald's, you know exactly what you're getting every single time. So what McDonald's doesn't want to have happen is have the market areas overlap. When they overlap, these two McDonald's are now going to compete with each other. They don't want that. They want the McDonald's not having to compete with other McDonald's. Now, that doesn't mean that you might not have an In-N-Out and a Jack in the Box and whatever else next to a McDonald's, because those are different companies and they can compete with each other. But notice also, In-N-Out is also spread out like this. Two In-N-Outs are not next to each other because they don't want them competing with each other because they have set market areas. Application of Walter Kristall's central place theory. Why do major supermarket chains tend to be spread apart? Well, it's the same thing as with the McDonald's or a fast food restaurant. That two Albertsons are going to have a certain market area, and they need to be able to be spread apart so that they can make profits. They don't want this happening where they overlap. Now, you might have Albertsons and Sprouts and Northgate and Vons and Smart and Final all competing with each other, but two Albertsons, they don't want them competing with each other. And so they spread them out. They do the studies and they know what the market area is, and then they have to compete against other supermarkets, but not against each other. Why are some restaurants, especially small non-chain restaurants, concentrated together? On the left-hand side, you have 4th Street in Santa Ana. On the right-hand side, you have the Long Beach Exchange in Long Beach. Both of these have a whole bunch of different restaurants at them. Because when you go out to dinner, if you're not going out to a specific restaurant and you're going out with some friends, you might go to a place where you have a variety of restaurants to choose from. And of course, with small restaurants, because it's small ownership, small businesses, they have to make a profit. They can't go long periods of time without making profits. And so if you concentrate them together, that gives people a variety of choices. It draws a bigger customer base in, and then all of these small restaurants can kind of share the customer base. And as a result of that, they can make a profit. And in fact, if you're going out with a fairly substantial party of people, a few people might eat at this one, a few other people over at that one, and a few others over here, and you all just meet at the tables and you eat together, and then everybody's a benefiter. Why are gas stations generally on corners? It's because you have traffic coming from different directions. And as a result of that, you can get north-south, east-west, or northeast, southwest directional traffic coming, and of course all those automobiles and motorcycles and everything else, they need gasoline, and by doing that, the gas stations can draw from a bigger customer base. Why are shopping malls in easy access to freeways in most cases? Like back to this, where this is the Los Cerritos Center in Cerritos, and you can see it right in the middle, over 180 stores, although Sears is no longer there, of course. But nevertheless, it's right next to the 405 and the 91, and that allows for a big market area, a larger population base to draw from. And all of these businesses are all concentrated in the mall, so that when somebody walks into a mall, I mean, let's face it, we've all been in them. When you walk into a mall, in most cases, you're not only going to one place, you're kind of walking around in the mall and hunting for things or just shopping and kind of enjoying the experience. I don't really enjoy malls, but a lot of people do enjoy the experience of going through malls. The big question now down the road is, of course, did the pandemic destroy malls? Because people have learned to shop in different ways, and maybe malls are going to be one of the fallout consequences as a result of the pandemic. But we'll see over some period of years.